Hello and welcome back, friends. If you're new around here, I'm Big Gator. If you came looking for the sharpest tennis bets, you're right where you belong. Right now we're covering ATP Tokyo and Beijing. Made it to the second round, finally. So please, get into the comments, let me see what you'll be playing. And keep your eyes peeled for my pinned comment if you'd like to follow along and play what I'm playing as well. Remember, what I say in the video is not official for what I'm playing. What I put in the pinned comment is, okay? If you do like the breakdowns of these matches, please give this video a like. It goes a super long way. And if you would like to get my picks as soon as I upload, you want to get that pinned comment, you should subscribe. It's the fastest way to do so. And if you are feeling generous for any wins that you do get or any of the advice that leads to any wins, there's a link in my pinned comment if you'd like to just donate. And there's a link to my free Discord as well if you would like to join. We talk tennis 24/7. We've got a bunch of good wins coming in, and I've post some other stuff in there. But with that being said, what we looking like for today? We only took 2 people, but we had about 3 picks. We had Bublik and we had Tien. Tien not only covered the spread, but he won the match. You know I sprinkled some on that. You know I had to do it. You know I did it. Wasn't an official pick though. But then we took Bublik to win, and we took Bublik to win in straights. And not only did he not win, he did not win in straights. He lost in straights to Mannarino. So looks like he may just not give a fuck about Beijing after all. We move on. We tried him. Always got to wait till second round with him, though, don't we? Got to wait till second round with him just to see. That is the one thing about Bublik. It's still him. That was a very Bublik thing that we got, so not upset with it at all. But we'll move on into Tokyo. And our very first match that we'll be touching on is going to be Jenson Brooksby going against Luciano Darderi. And these two have never played each other before, but boy, oh boy, do I think this is going to be a scrappy one. I think this is going to be a scrappy one. I do think that Jenson Brooksby actually gets away with this win, given that he got rid of Ugo in straights. Yoshihito Nishioka, the lefty with a hot temper, lost. There's a bunch of breaking happening in that match. They broke each other a bunch of times. I watched that match. It was weird. I don't know if the weirdness of Darderi is going to be of that Darderi match is going to be able to like actually do much against Brooksby's scrappiness. He was able to get past Ugo. Darderi is now ranked 30 though. Brooksby's been ranked 33, but on his best day, a little bit better. But as far as the hardcourt record goes, hasn't played a lot this season on the hardcourt, Jenson Brooksby, but he is 7-8, which is not great, but he does have a 64% win rate. He is 23-19 this season. And then we have Darderi, who's 5-9, even worse on the hardcourt, with a 50% win rate. But he's also 37-24. So I do think the buck stops here. I wouldn't be surprised if Darderi wins this, but it should very much so be the Jenson Brooksby outcome. I think Jenson Brooksby should win this. He's minus 200, so there you go. If you want to put him together with somebody else, you're more than welcome to. Darderi's just been playing at a level. This could go to a 3-setter, honestly. They've never played before, so. But the one thing that did happen is they both played a first set tie breaks. So both of these guys have decent enough serves to hold, but not good enough to dominate with the return games against each other. I would kind of reckon. Honestly, I think Darderi has a bit of a better return game when it comes to just going against serves, but playing on the hard court, I kind of want to give it to Brooksby. So do with that as you will. It going to a tiebreak in the first set is plus 350. It getting a tiebreak at all is plus 150. Something to think about. but we will move on. Our next match is going to be Brandon Nakashima going against Marton Fucsovics. And this is going to be their second head-to-head. They played 5 years ago in the U.S. Open in qualies, and Fucsovics beat Nakashima in straights. What will the 33-year-old Hungarian do to the young American on native land? Nakashima is American, but he is of Japanese descent, so he has a bit more, I don't want to say incentive to play up here, but he's Japanese, so the crowd's going to be rooting for him. Big backing behind him. I don't know if you watched any of his last match, but it was pretty tense after that second set tiebreak where he won that. And got a lot of the crowd support throughout the match, but really kicked up in that second set. So then we have Fucsovics, who in the first round beat Tiafoe in 3 sets. Kind of saw that coming, right? But beating Jordan Thompson, he's a contender, but he's like this level contender. He's someone that's hard for you to fight in the first round, I feel like, at a ATP 500. So anyway, Nakashima's 18-12 this season. Fucsovics is 19-4. So at the very least, you would expect Fucsovics to be able to nab a set. He is a winner of Winston-Salem, only dropping a set to Talon Griekspoor of all people. But has been having a pretty decent year, right? He's 41-19 at 33 years old. Nakashima is 31-24. 5 more losses and 10 less wins than Fucsovics. Am I crazy for thinking that Fucsovics should definitely get a set? Should definitely get a set. A guy with a record like this, mind you, his win percentage on the hard court is not better than Nakashima's. It's 1.5% less at 58.7. And Nakashima's at 60%. So he beat him before, but it was 5 years ago. Does Nakashima learn from it and beat him again? Or beat him back? I think Fucsovics gets a set, though. At the very least. I don't love Nakashima's style of play against someone with a pretty decent serve like Fucsovics and a pretty all-around baseline striking game. I think he hits the ball a bit better consistently than Nakashima does, so I'm leaning more on him to get a set. Maybe Nakashima wins due to the, home court advantage-ish, but that's all I got for that one. But our next match is going to be Mr. Ethan Quinn going against Holger Rune. And a magnificent first head-to-head. This will be great. What'd I tell you about that boy Ethan Quinn? Got rid of Mickelson in the first round, man. Straight sets. I'd be telling y'all, man. And I plucked his card recently. Got the Ethan Quinn card. I'll show you guys in the next video. But Holger Rune is 16-8. Ethan Quinn is 22-12 on the hard court. So, and mind you, I checked last video or 2 videos ago. Ethan Quinn was not doing challengers. He's got that record in the ATP. 22-12 is his ATP seasonal stat right now. So he has 6 more wins and 4 more losses than Holger Rune. Just like by a bit. Just by a bit. He's better on the hard court than Holger Rune. With a lower sample size. Actually, the sample size is the same. We know Holger's more of a clay guy, right? He's played most of his matches on clay, I think, in his upcoming as well. He was doing a lot of those clay and indoor hard courts. I think he played a bit, but not as much as the regular hard courts. He's still trying to get that tally down. He's still pretty young, but Alcaraz has played a fuck ton, dude. So, anyway, I say that to say, Holger Rune has a 71-51 record on the hard courts across his entire season. Ethan Quinn has a 77-53 record on the hard court. So, you guys know me, man. Holger has kind of been hot and cold. Like, he's been in this weird play. He played really well in Barcelona. Not going to take that from him. He got to the fourth round until he ran into Musetti, who was playing out of his mind in the French Open. But been playing decently, nabbing his points to stay up at the top. That's kind of how I look at how he's been winning. Win a match, lose a match, win a match, lose a match. And then we have him winning a match here against Ahmad Medjedovic, and he looked really good. He looked really good. So I'm not even gonna fake. But then again, Ethan Quinn kind of has a very similar play style. Doesn't have that big of a serve. Holger's got a pretty big serve. So, not to say it's like a out of this mind, but out of the two, Holger's got a bigger serve, in my opinion. It could be a close match. Oh yeah. If they have the 5.5, we're taking it, guys. Yeah. Oh, it's minus 600. Why? Why is that minus 600, dude? The line is at plus 3.5 for him. Like, that's his line. And shit's insane, bro. Anyway, the parlay piece at plus 4.5, I don't like that one. I like it at 5.5. I think he could lose to Holger 6-4, 6-3. So, at the same time, though, I think he can win. This could be a three-setter for real. In the first set, both of these guys do play really hard, especially Ethan Quinn. He tries to always win that first set. And, I don't know, has he gone against anyone at this level yet? Mickelson is not really a Holger. When he played against Jakob Mensik, in Cincinnati, he got dog-walked. This is kind of like the same situation, honestly. Mensik and Rune are more comparable, I feel like, than Quinn and Rune are. So, if he was able to go not toe-to-toe with him, then maybe it is looking a bit grim for the boy. I would maybe take the... You could either go two ways. One way is definitely going to fuck you over, but I think you should go one of two ways. You could take the minus 2.5 spread for Holger Rune. It's minus 170. It's a good price. Or you could take the plus 4.5 spread for Ethan Quinn. It's minus 280. It's less good of a price, but it kind of covers your ass. Or you could just take over 21.5 games. I don't like that number. I would take the 20.5 at minus 230. I think that it could go to a three-setter, or it could just be two long sets. So I think that over 20.5 games is kind of a reasonable thing to look at. But let me stop slow dragging. I'm talking hella long. Only been through 3 matches, so let me get through this. Next we have Carlos Alcaraz going against Zizou Bergs. Lord have mercy. What is this going to be like? They've yet to play each other. Huh? Anyway, we know Alcaraz is number 1 in the world after winning the U.S. Open recently. He came into Tokyo winning in straight sets. Only person to mess up his indoor hardcourt record coming into this season. is Taylor Fritz. In the Laver Cup of all places, lost in straight sets to the man in the Laver Cup. That was crazy. But then we have Zizou Bergs, who's 17 and 14 on the hard court. And then we have Alcaraz, who's 24 and 4. Has seemingly only dropped but a set to Yannick Sinner. And before that, he hadn't dropped a set since August 15th. So if there was no Yannick there, I don't think that there'd be a set that he would have dropped if there was anybody else he had to face. Just saying. With the way he looked in the U.S. Open, it was like, what the fuck are we talking about? This guy's definitely going to win. In retrospect, coming out the gate, this guy was just looking too fucking good. So anyway, looking at the win rate on Alcaraz, that should say nothing to you. The only thing we should really talk about here is nothing more than the spread. And because they've yet to play each other, Zizou does have a pretty good movement around the court, but the spread is at, all right, now they're being a little bit crazy. Minus 6.5. He didn't cover that last game. And Sebastian Baez debatably is playing a little bit better right now than Zizou. Or a bit worse than Zizou, so that's a bit weird to me. I would play the under 12.5 games for Alcaraz on this one. I just don't see Zizou being able to. I think he's going to be so dumbfounded by how good this guy is, he just won't be able to do shit about it. How many games did this guy score? Sebastian Baez only was able to hold for 2 games. Hold for 6 games. Do we think Zizou can do better than that? I don't care either way. But I think the under 12.5 for Alcaraz is probably the smartest thing to do in that match because the spread's too crazy. The game total, what's it at? 18.5? 6-3, 6-3. It's got to go under 6-3, 6-3. If you think that's the case, take it. It's some smoke. It's plus 100 to go for the under there. So, if you're looking for that type of smoke, then definitely sit there with your popcorn and root for Carlos at 4:15 in the morning, Eastern time. Next match we have is 2 Americans in Tokyo. So something I'm noticing is a lot of the Americans are over here, and a lot of the fucking French people are in Beijing. But we're going to get to that. Next, we have Sebastian Korda going against Taylor Fritz. And this is going to be their 4th head-to-head, the second on the hard courts, which took place just last year in Montreal, where Sebastian Korda beat Taylor Fritz in straights. Now, Sebastian Korda is still here. Last year, Taylor Fritz was still ranked who he was ranked at. He was in the top 10. Sebastian Korda last year was ranked what? Like 70 something? Actually, 15th. He was 15th last year. Not bad. But we don't have the same form of Korda that we had before. He got through Shimabukuro pretty convincingly. He shut me up there, didn't he? He said, cover a spread. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. I'm about to dust this motherfucker. I said, damn, my bad, Sebastian Korda. So did we take him for a set today? Let me see. Let me check my list. Let me see if I can even touch him. Do not effing touch list. Let's see who's on it. Taylor Fritz, Thomas Mahaj, Talon Grigspor, Lorenzo Musetti, Andre Rublev. I feel like you can still kind of bet on Rublev. Take him off that list. Okay, Ugo Gaston, Francis Tiafoe, Riley Opelka. Yeah, no. Sebastian Korda didn't make it yet. He's not on the iffy list yet either, but he may be deserving of it soon. If he can produce a set against Taylor Fritz, which is he won in straights the last time they played, and the only time they played on the hard court. They played on the clay, and that's where Taylor Fritz seemingly had his number. That's where he had most of the wins. So it is 2-1 Fritz, but I don't know, man. I like Sebastian Korda more than I like Taylor Fritz here. I would probably play Sebastian Korda on DraftKings in my fantasy lineup, so look out for that. I like him for a set, but maybe this is a him covering a spread type of thing. But then again, Sebastian Korda does have the mental of someone that when he's down a bit. Actually, he showed some resilience in that match against Marcus Giron. He came back and he won. He got broken and then broke back. So, but if he doesn't break back, does he crumble? I don't know. That's what we don't know. Taylor Fritz won't crumble as hard. I'll say he will definitely crumble. He kind of chokes at times, but Sebastian Korda, man, I think he's good for a set. I think he is good for a set. You know, he's 13-7 on the hard court. Fritz is 28-10. Mind you, Korda hasn't been playing that much. He doesn't seemingly play that much in seasons. He kind of just be chilling, it seems. Come in when he need to, do his little thing, hop out. But we'll move on. We have one more, I think, left. Yeah. Next we have Casper Ruud going against Alexander Vukic. And man, oh man, Casper Ruud was looking pretty fucking sharp against Matteo Berrettini. Gotta say it. He was looking good. But anyway, we have a second head-to-head on the way against for these two. Vukic leading with a 6-4, 6-4 win in Shanghai just last year. And I'll tell you this, I like that. I like those odds for him again this time. Ruud's gone through Berrettini and Mochizuki. Dropped a set to him. We have Altmaier getting dusted in straights by Vukic. Jumhor losing in 3, as he likes to do. Gone through Mr. Sakamoto and Kovacevic in the qualies, so couldn't beat Bublik but beat Goffin. As far as their records are, 11-7 on the hard court for Ruud, 14-17 for Vukic. With a negative record of -7 this season, Casper Ruud's been playing way better. So I do like the idea of Vukic is nabbing a set. Maybe Casper Ruud wins 2-1. That's worth a pretty pity, about 260, plus 260. So I will not be touching this match. I think if you were able to beat Casper Ruud in straights last year, I think that you would probably lose, but still manage to nab a set this time around with the way he's playing. But then again, I can't trust Casper Ruud personally, so I'm just saying what I think is what I see, which is he's playing good. So that does wrap up everything going on in Tokyo. We can pop into Beijing. And our first match in Beijing is going to be Fabian Marozsan going against Alexander Muller. And this is the first French guy playing. Alright, so this is going to be their first head-to-head. Man, Fabian got rid of Ben Bonzi in straights, but Muller got rid of Hachinov in 3. What's more impressive there? I don't know who's going to win this match in the first head-to-head. I couldn't tell you. What you're really going to have to do is sit there and look at both of their highlights and decide which one you think is playing better. And you're like, oh, this guy will win. That's the best I can tell you for this matchup, because I don't know about how this is going to go. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, Marozsan is 11-10 on the hard court this season. Muller is 12-10 this season on the hard court with a 61% win rate, as well as Fabian Marozsan with a 61% win rate. So they have damn near identical records, like I just have been saying. 24-22 for Marozsan, 23-23 for Muller. So at the very least, if we're just trying to be like, simple and plain about things and think about it logically, like how we try to do, giving us the sharpest analysis that we can, you would go for over games in this one, wouldn't you? You would. The record of how they play, and they always manage to nab a set. They always manage to nab a set. Both of these guys. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth here. So I would at least, at the very little, go for the 19.5 games. That's all I got for that one, man. That's all I got for that one. Not going to force any more out. That's all. That's the most I can see. But next we have Alex de Minaur going against Arthur Rinderknech, the second French guy playing. And this is going to be their first head-to-head. This is going to be interesting. We do know when the weather is hot and de Minaur has to play a lot, he don't play too well against big servers. But it's not hot in Japan. Another thing we know about Alex de Minaur is what? Off of what happened to me, what did I tell y'all, right? When I went to D.C., to the D.C. City Open, this motherfucker won. Coming back from a 1.5 deficit. Won the championship. Took the title in D.C. off of being down a set and a break. Maybe it was a set and 2 breaks. Bro was down, bro. It was like 4-1 or 5-1 or some shit like that. And he came back and won the match. Anyway, I'm saying that in an ATP 500, that's the level of effort he puts in. This is the next ATP 500 he's participating in. Okay, everything else has been a Masters and a fucking... Yeah, everything else has been a Masters and exhibition tour, random stuff like Davis Cup and Laver Cup. And then the last Grand Slam, the U.S. Open, right? Where he made it to the quarterfinals. So when he be trying to win, he gonna get buck, okay? I think de Minaur's back in the mode of getting buck. He bageled Boo. He booblicked Boo. Boo bagel. Booblikion. Like, whatever you want to say. Like, that's what de Minaur did to that motherfucker, bro. Anyway. Rinderknech is 8-13 on the hard court this season. De Minaur is 26-9. Just looking at, I guess we can look at history. We'll see if it matters, but let's see how de Minaur is against French people historically. Just for shits and giggles, right? Just for shits and giggles. How is he against the French? He's 2-1. He lost to Hugo Gaston in Antwerp last year in October. I forgot about that. That's because he was a lefty, I think. Maybe that's the lefty shit was. No, because he ended up beating Korda Moutet earlier in DC this year. So, and then he beat Arthur Cazaux as well on the grass. Rinderknech, though, man. He has some moments. He had a moment against Bosov already. Shame on him. In qualies. But he also had a moment against David Goffin. After not having a moment against him in qualies. So, if you're able to lose to him and beat him, good for you. But that's not going to be the same thing here. The way he got beaten by David Goffin was 6-3, 6-2. He just happened to get a second chance in the draw and face him immediately again, so he learned from those mistakes. But he's not going to get that from Minaur, bro. Like, that's not going to happen. So, I think that spread is looking very, very similar from the David Goffin match. I would take that. Minus 4.5, you're bugging. Is that what it is? 6-3, 6-2? Ah. Go for the 3-5, 3-5. Because Rinderknech does have a good serve. It's minus 330. That's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous, man. Anyway, we're going to move on. That just blew me. Next match is going to be Jannik Sinner going against Scary Terry Atmane. God damn it. Why does he keep running into this guy already? This is going to be their second head-to-head in fucking a month, bro. Why? Let this man grow, please. He should have been in the semifinals, not in this draw with you, bro. Anyway, Scary Terry hasn't dropped a set yet. Beating Botic van de Zandschulp in the qualification round as well as Fajing Sun. But then he beat Chizhen Shang in straights as well. Playing in the same dominant fashion. Jannik Sinner playing his same old game. Looking mighty fucking good against Madan Cilic. But this time around, what do we think we're going to get from Scary Terry? Last time we were able to get 8 games out of him. Let's see, who's the last person he lost to? Dino Priesmich beat him in Chengdu. He still managed to get himself at least a good 7 games. Man, Scary Terry, what's your line at? 6.5? Y'all might call me crazy. I fucking like that. I like that. Scary Terry for at least 7 games. Call me crazy. Call me fucking crazy. I think he can hold for 7 games against Jannik. He's had his lesson already. He knows how he plays. He knows he's going to have to come with that shit. And he was looking good. He was looking good against Zhang. So, I mean, we know the records. I don't know if you guys care. Like, I talk about this guy's record all the time. But Jannik Sinner, 19-2 on the hard, 76% win rate. 38-5 this season with a 3-month suspension added to that. So that's why it's so minimum. His last season stats, 74-7, 41-3 on the hard court. He won the U.S. Open, won Cincinnati, and then lost to Carlos Alcaraz in Beijing. Where Carlos Alcaraz said, fuck it, I'm going to let you get Beijing this year. I'm going to let you do that. Because I'm about to go to Tokyo, actually, and do my thing over there. He said, fuck it. Well, you know what? Next time around, I'm going to just do it in Shanghai. Went to Shanghai, beat Djokovic in the final. Only dropping a set to Tomas Martin Echeverry in the process last year. Funny stuff. So now we have him going 6-2, 6-2 against Madan Cilic. Seemingly playing his butt off. That was a big server, but this is a big server with a left hand and also better movement. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that we can get Scary Terry for 6.5 games? Am I blindly looking at that? Am I just being a fool? Do we take Jannik Sinner to double fault twice? Because every time I say not to do it, he ends up doing it. But when he played against Scary Terry last time, what did we get? Not a single double fault. But Jannik in these earlier rounds, he looked sharp in that one game. coming back into it. But how did he look in Cincinnati? 3 double faults, first round. 5 double faults, second round. 2 double faults, third round, fourth round. So it's plus 100 for him to double fault twice. I kind of like that. Call me crazy. So let me know what y'all think. Y'all like the double faults or you like this scary Terry? I don't know. We'll move on though. Obviously, Yannick is probably going to win that match, but wouldn't be surprised if Scary Terry has him all figured out. If he's sharp enough to do it, I think he may be able to cause an upset. He's plus 2,200 to win. But then again, Yannick Sinner is still Yannick Sinner. Former number one, but not former by that much. He's still pretty much the number one guy out here. Whenever Carlos isn't around, he's number one. So right now he's number one in Beijing. Moving on, we have Arthur Cazaux going against Jakub Mensik. And this is going to be an interesting one. I think this is going to be pretty competitive. Close match. It didn't seem like that 2 years ago, though, in their first head-to-head. Went 6-3, 6-0. Cazaux. But a 3-year difference. Mensik is only 20. Quite young. But has a ATP Masters title under his belt. Cazaux does not. Furthest he's gotten... furthest he's gotten on a hard court in the past 2 years. Not been very far. Jakub Mensik, as I said before, won Miami. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it. He's got a 71% win rate, going 22-10 this season, with a 27-12 record last year. And then we have Arthur Cazaux, who's 12-11, with a 25-15 record last season, with a 68% win rate on the hard court. That's 3% less than Mensik. I do think this is going to be a bit of a close one. Spread plus 2.5 for Cazaux. Mensik is a favorite at minus 220. He got rid of Kecmanovic and the way that I thought he would. 7-5, 6-4. Yeah, that's about right. He was serving pretty well. I did see the highlights of it. I forgot the score, though. But, yeah, he aced pretty well, about 10 aces. But his first serve percentage was at 47%. Oh, my goodness. So bad. But he won a lot of his first serve points. I don't know how he won this match. He has some funky stats. Maybe, just maybe, because I was playing better. I mean, he did end up beating Jerry Shang, right? That was kind of crazy. Didn't think he'd come out of that match, but he did. Got bageled in the first set by him, and then he said, you know what, fuck this. I'm taking it to a tiebreak. And then did it again, and then broke him before he could get to the third set tiebreak. So, well done. Well done. Jerry Shang beaten again in China. Very, very impressive to beat him in that crowd. So, Mensik going against Kecmanovic. I would think that Cazaux might be able to cover a spread here. If anything, Mensik going over 12.5 games could be a thing, being pushed a little bit further than usual. Or just as far as he got pushed with Kecmanovic, honestly. I think that's a very similar outcome. They're priced the exact same. He was minus 220 yesterday. He's minus 220 today. I don't know here. This upset could happen here. An upset could happen here. Yeah. Cazaux is ranked 80. Mensik is ranked 20. But I don't know. If you guys have anything for that one, put it in the comments or pop it into my Discord and let me know in the Swamp Chat. Best place to talk about it. The next match we got about 4 more left and we'll get out of here for it. I know I'm running up time. We have, oh wow, we have Quarantine Moutet going against Shasa Alexander Zverev. And this is going to be their second head-to-head. They played earlier this year on the grass. So, quite surprised that Moutet actually came out winning in straights against Talon Grigspor. I'm not actually, but the history did show that it would be a bit of a close one. It was a bit close, but it was a close 2 sets. And proud of Moutet for that. I'm glad he got that done. But this is where the buck stops. We know that we've seen some funky playing from Zverev recently. The Laver Cup was honestly it doesn't really matter to him. But the U.S. Open lost to Felix Auger-Aliassime was a bit wild. I think for him, I think that didn't feel good. So having him beaten Tabilo in the first round, another lefty. And his backhand is kind of built for dealing with lefties. I just think that he's going to be in a position to beat Moutet out of this position. But Moutet did push him to a tiebreak in Stuttgart earlier this year. So I don't know if that first head-to-head gave him enough to know about how he's going to be playing and what to deal with him and how he played. But I think he's. Let's see what the spread was there. He covered a what? A 4 plus 4 plus 5. Plus 4.5 spread. 6-4-7-6. 6-2-7-6. Sorry. Let me see what the spread is for this match. $4.5. I like that. I want to see if we can get it to 5.5 though, because if that's where the even money line is, then maybe we can get 6.5 at a crazy good price. Minus 475, nah, but minus 225 for the 5.5. If you're feeling gutsy and you think that he can keep up with Zverev, I mean, take it. Sonego can cover that spread. That's all I'm saying. If Sonego can cover that spread against Zverev, I'm sure the way that we've been seeing Moutet play recently, he did lose to Royer in Hangzhou in the semifinals. Granted, it was a semifinal. He was about to lose to Echeverry, though. Echeverry was about to beat him. Not going to lie. That injury sparked in and kind of took over. But he did beat Cazaux, which doesn't really mean much going against someone like Zverev. So, don't love that as much as I think anymore. But we'll move on. But before I do, just know that Quarantine Moutet is 15-10 this season on the hard court, and Sasha is 22-7 with a 46-19 record, very similar to Taylor Fritz, and Moutet with a 34-23, so still pretty good. Win percentage on the hard court, about a 12% difference with going to Zverev. And our next match is going to be our upsetter, Adrian Mannarino, going against Lorenzo Musetti. And it's 1-1 between them. They played just last year. Musetti won in a 3-setter back in Chengdu. Now they're in Beijing. And Mannarino got rid of Bublik, okay? So, if you got rid of, to me, who was a number 3 seed, number 4 seed maybe, I think you can get rid of this guy too, man. After what I've seen from this bro, I should leave the match alone, but Mannarino, I think, is a better lefty. And he's had better wins this season than Tabilo has to be able to overcome someone like Musetti. On the hard court, I just think that Mannarino is a better player. I think Musetti is just here for the vibes, bro. I think he is a clay player. a number 10 in the world, a top 10 player when talking about clay, is what I'll say, respectively. Respectfully. They have the same win streak, same win percentage on the hard court with a 57% win rate, but Adrian has him beaten by 0.3. So, with that being said, I will be leaning on that 0.3 percentage because this is a percentage game. He's plus 150 to win. Ooh, that'd be petty as hell if I bet on him. But it also is like very much so. It seems like a great play. Getting through Bublik, having not dropping a set, that's a lot more weapons to go against and still seemingly able to nullify it. I don't know if Musetti is going to be... He's been playing a lot of tennis too, so he might be tired. He may be tired. So, we'll see. I think Mannarino will definitely slow it down a bit with his pace. But his movement is great to be 37. So, I'm rooting for Mannarino, honestly. Like I said, their head-to-head is 1-1. Musetti did beat him on the hard court in Chengdu last year, but the year before, Mannarino won in straights in Indian Wells. So, higher level play, like Indian Wells. This is in between Indian Wells and Chengdu. So, he played pretty hard against Bublik. Kind of expecting the same against Musetti. All right, next match. We have 2 more left. This is going to be good. Whew. This is going to be fucking good. It's going to be Daniel Medvedev going against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. And these matches are going to be the same with the Musetti one. It's going to be taking place later tomorrow night. So, I might just leave these alone, honestly. Yeah, I'll leave these alone. We'll talk about this stuff tomorrow. Trust me, I would love to talk about Caboli and TN, but we'll get into it tomorrow. That does wrap up everything for this video, though. I do thank everyone for getting involved. We're going to get a slip together. I'm going to just get us some greens. I'm going to lock in super hard on this one. I'm about tired of it. I'm done saying, I'm done playing. I'm going to get the team some greens today. And you guys can just do what you guys do as usual. Keep being the best supporters I've had. I really do appreciate you all. With that being said, I'm going to get up out of here. Get this video uploaded for you guys. Get some streaming done in my Discord. Get yourself involved. Catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.